Big cat rescue. Good morning, cool cats and kittens. Chantel here. Where's Misa? This is just. Welcome, everyone. Good morning to everyone except for Carol Baskin. Also, come here, Misa.
She's literally having an anxiety attack.
She wants up so bad. She wants to go up. Misa, come hang out with us in our book club.
Meow. Meow.
I'm trying to do this on my iPad, so I hope it's working correctly.
Hey, cool cats.
Misa, come here. Give me our special guest coming straight from.
He's so perfect.
Oh,
Sabina.
hey, Miso, say hi to the people. How old is Miso? She's 2.5, almost. She was born in January, so.
She
Wait.
literally looks insane.
I feel like the Instagram filter will go onto her face. Miso's gonna get a brother. Excited. There she goes. Hello, Mom. I'm gonna give a shout out to my mom who's in here. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Katie.
Hi, Misa.
Mom says hi, Miso. Alright, guys, so I'm excited to discuss this book with whoever's read it. I know I told everyone that this live stream was for the book club, so we're gonna discuss the book and then whatever else. But so I read the first 2 parts, but we only need the first part was like what everyone was supposed to read. So let me know if you guys read it so that I can know how many people are in here that read the book. Oh, I read it. I love the book. If you've read the book, feel free to chime in, because, what?
She really likes the coconut almond butter.
I told you, Miso's favorite food is coconut. So she...
Wait, come here. You want it?
She likes it. So, yeah, so a little bit about the book. It's like a self-help type book, and I just thought it would, well, you guys picked it first of all, but I thought it would be good thing to keep our minds in the right place while we're stuck inside and all of these things are happening outside. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not a book club professional because this is my first time doing it, and I was honestly making it up as I go, but anyways, I took some notes and I wrote some things that I thought were interesting or attention grabbing. Wow. I'm like, can you show the book cover? If anyone wants to screenshot this, here you go. Anyways, yeah, I'm happy to bring you guys in so that we can all talk about it. I'm gonna go through the intro and talk about like what I annotated. Yeah, so if you guys are into like, law of attraction, stuff like this, the book talks about it a bunch. And just how to be open-minded and all of these other things. Wow, I just woke up, guys. I'm like, I need my coffee to kick in that I just drank. Okay. Let's see. Wait, does anybody want to come in and talk about the book? If I request you guys in, everyone wants me to add Anne, so I'm like, I tried to add you. I tried to add her last time, but she didn't request me. don't see her in the requests. So, I don't know. Once she requests me, then I can do it. I don't know. She's not here, guys. Guys, fuck. Is it doing that thing again? Fuck! It's doing that thing again, or it won't let me. I can't. Why does it do this? Anyways, alright, so I underlined here. Well, let me give you an overview for people that haven't read this book. The back cover says, You're a Badass is a self-help book for the people who desperately want to improve their lives but don't want to get busted doing it. In this refreshingly entertaining how-to guide, best-selling author and world-traveling success coach Jen Sincero serves up 27 bite-sized chapters full of hilariously inspiring stories, sage advice, easy exercises, and the occasional swear word helping you to identify and change the self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviors that stop you from getting what you want, create a life you totally love and create it now, make some damn money already, the kind you never made before. By the end of You're a Badass, you'll understand why you are, how to love, what you can change, how to change what you don't love, and how to use the force to kick some serious ass. T. Alright. Someone said, did you go to college? Yes, I did go to college for a long time. I'm ready to go back to college.
Really?
I want to be a botanist. I want to go back to college to learn how to be a botanist.
Oh my gosh.
Gets houseplants.
It's one plant. Certified botanist.
Alright.
Botanist certification with the one purchase of a plant.
Let's see. From the introduction, I annotated. This is the first line I annotated in the book. And it says, you're going to have to let go of old limiting beliefs and cling to your decision to create the life you desire. So, I mean, obviously, you have to open your mind to things if you want to manifest them into your life. And I feel like you have to believe that you can do it, and you have to just believe and not doubt yourself. I'm so kooky that I think, like, anything can happen, and usually does, so. Like, sometimes when people say things to me, they're like, it may seem crazy, but, like, this. And I'm like, this doesn't seem crazy to me. Nothing seems crazy to me compared to the things that I usually think about or just believe. Like, I just believe things that are so kooky. Not me. Anyways. The next line that I annotated. So there's like a section in the book that reminded me of this quote that I tweeted, or this thing that I tweeted. I think it was a quote. I tweeted it like a couple weeks ago, and it says, change before you have to. And in the book, it's talking about just all of these different things that can like force you to change, like bad events and certain things that can happen in your life. And it's just kind of like touching on the fact that you should change before these things happen to you, because then they won't need to happen to you for you to change. Because a lot of the times if you want things to happen and you think about the direction you want to go in your life a lot, and you're not making any effort towards going in that direction, or you're not taking the steps that you need to take, certain events will happen to you that force you to do those things, but it's what you wanted. You just are standing in your own way. So it's just like, if you take the obstacle out of the way, which is yourself, and you change before something is forcing you to, then you'll skip that whole process and you'll save yourself a lot of trouble. So it says, all you have to do is make the decision, and you can make it right now. Basically, to change. And what they're touching on is they're saying, like, I'll just read it to you because it's only like 3 sentences, but You may have heard stories about people who have had these major breakthroughs when shit really hit the fan. They found a lump or got their electricity turned off, or they were moments away from having sex with strangers to buy drugs when suddenly they woke up transformed. But you don't have to wait till you hit rock bottom to start crawling out of your hole. All you have to do is make the decision right now, and you can make the decision and you can make it right now. So basically just deciding instead of having something happen to you that's forcing you to do so. There's a great line from the poet Anais Nin that reads, "And the day came when the risk to remain in a tight bed was more painful than the risk it took to blossom." So there comes a tipping point where it's harder and requires more effort and heartbreak and all of these things for you to stay how you are and stay in the position that you're in. And it's honestly easier to change for the better. And there comes that tipping point for people, and you don't have to wait until that comes to make a change, but that will happen eventually. So, just touching on that. That was from the intro. I also annotated the last two things in the intro. Stay open in all caps, or else you are screwed. And yeah, I think that's just really true that, like, you just need to that you need to just stay open to opportunities, keep your eyes open to signs and things that will happen in your life. You also need to be open-minded, because at the end of the day, life is subjective, and your opinion will change on what you think is, like, good and bad, or, like, things like this over time with experience, and especially as you become more empathetic and emotionally intelligent and learn how to put yourself in other people's shoes and see, like, the way life has shaped them to become who they are, then you'll be able to understand why people do certain things, and, like, you'll be able to feel for them more, and, like, you will feel less personally attacked when certain things happen that people do, and you won't feel like it's because of you, and you'll feel like, well, you know, this does not happen to them, and that's why they're like this, and it doesn't make it right. It just makes it so that you don't feel like they're just have it out for you, or, like, they're doing this just because, like, they don't like you, or you did something, and you'll realize that you don't have to take things so personal, and it will make you feel a lot better while dealing with people that aren't as pleasant as you may like to be dealing with. Okay, some other little quotes that I liked from this part. Share your awesomeness with the world, because that's really what it's all about. Yeah, just the things that you think are awesome about yourself, you should share them with the world. We need smart people with huge hearts and creative minds to manifest all the wealth, resources, and support they need to make their difference in the world. So basically, if you're a smart person and a huge heart and with a creative mind, like, we need you to manifest so that you can get everything that you need to share your awesomeness with the world and to be able to make great things happen for everyone. And at the end of the day, especially in this situation, we're finding out that we are a unit. We are not an island. Everyone is connected and interconnected throughout the world. So we need people that have pure intentions and that have good hearts to be able to manifest everything they need to make their dreams reality and help others and things like this. And if those are your intentions, you're more likely for these type of things to happen to you, so that you can do this for everyone. We need people to feel happy and fulfilled and loved, so they don't take their shit out on themselves and other people on the planet or animal friends. And that's true. So we should be spreading positivity with others, as we want everyone to have a positive outlook and vibe in life and feel happy and loved, so then they aren't taking it out on everyone else. And it will make a lot more pleasant on our time on this planet. Anyways, the next part of the book, well, the first part of the book was kind of diving into what shaped you to become the way that you are and how that affects your decisions that you make and things like this. So part one is called How You Got This Way. So diving into your subconscious so that you can realize, like, why you feel certain ways, or why you have a tendency to do certain things without really thinking about it. And it kind of like makes you understand those things. So once you understand them, you can have control over them, because it's kind of like your breathing. It's involuntary, but once you start to think about it, it becomes voluntary. So with your subconscious, it's the same type of concept where, like, you don't think about it, you just do certain things based on past traumas or how you were raised. And once you become aware, then you start to notice those things. And when the opportunity for you to act a certain way based on your subconscious comes up, you notice that you're doing it before you do it, so you can be able to stop it or change it. So chapter 1 is called My Subconscious Made Me Do It. And it's just, the first quote says, "You're a victim of the rules you live by," and you create rules in your mind, then your subconscious kind of goes by those. But they happen when you're younger and, like, by the way that you were raised and stuff like this. So let's see what first quote from this part that I annotated. All you have to say is, it's not your fault that you're fucked up. It's your fault if you stay fucked up, because you didn't raise yourself, you didn't pick your circumstances from birth, and it's not your fault how those things affected you, because you weren't old enough to make a conscious decision to change them, nor did you have the ability to do so. But once you're aware of these things, it is your responsibility to then change, now that you're an adult, and now that you can make an effort to do things differently, it's your responsibility to do so. So once you realize that it's not, my mom said, being aware of both consciousness helps create a filter for your thoughts. Thank you, Katie, for your contribution. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, guys. My live won't let me, I can't add one yet, but maybe we'll fix this out. Yeah. So people do know this, but it's something that you just need to realize and think about, and not take it personal with yourself. It's just like things are passed down through your family and how you're raised, and you didn't choose those things. So once you can't blame yourself, all you can do is make a conscious effort to change for the better. Okay. Most people are living in an illusion based on someone else's beliefs, which is very much part of the nurture argument of, like, people teach you what they think is right and wrong and how things should be done, and those things embed themselves in your subconscious, so then they shape the person that you are. But once you get to an age of enlightenment and where you want to make a conscious effort to become the best version of yourself, you need to kick those things out and make decisions based on all the information and experiences that you have had up until this point. That way you can create your own beliefs and you can live your life by those, and you will be authentic and true to yourself. And the only way to really do that is to take time for self-reflection, because the more you're around people, you're always influenced by them, and you need to take time to yourself, which is great. And this time is something that we can all do, because we're kind of all in the same situation where we don't have as many distractions from the outside, because we are kind of like forced to be in this situation. So it's a great time to self-reflect and to create your own beliefs based on outside influences. So it's a very interesting thing when you start to create your own beliefs, and it really changes who you are as a person. I always think, like, I used to be so different until I started making my own conscious beliefs, and I started shaping myself based on my own personal experiences. Because when people teach you things when you're growing up, they're teaching you based on their experiences, and you may never have those experiences, so you may never even need to be like that. But you need to take time to yourself and experience your own things, and then you can make your own rules and whatever. Okay. Our subconscious mind is not an analytical part of our brain that's fully developed the moment we arrive here on Earth. It's all about feelings and instincts. So basically, your subconscious is mostly going off of instincts rather than logic. So this part of the book is talking about, I'm like, where did I actually read in this book. This other book was talking about that too. And I think I highlighted in the first page. This is a different book, but I'm going to read you this quote because it has to do with that. About how your subconscious is the non-analytical part of your brain. So basically, it's not the part of logic and reason. It's just the part that literally goes off your feelings and your instincts, which are very strong in animals, and we are animals. So we just need to stop shutting that part of our brain out, as what people kind of in society are taught to do. But I've always really believed in my instincts, and I go after them a lot. So it's also the part of your creative brain, and like the more you become a logic person, it takes away from that part. Where's this quote? Okay, our first endeavors are purely instinctive promptings of an imagination vivid and undisciplined. As we grow older, reason asserts itself and we become more systematic in designing. But those early impulses, though not immediately productive, are the greatest moments and may shape our very destinies. So that's from this book, but it's the same, talking about the same thing about how we start off being, imaginative and creative and just going off of our instincts, and then we begin to let that be overcome with reason. And but it's just talking about how it's so important to kind of like have those impulses and to just be going on your instincts and letting your brain be creative and different, because that's before it's influenced by outside sources. So that's how original ideas, and if you guys know about Nikola Tesla, he's my favorite person, and I really like this book. It's an autobiography from his journals, but he invented the radio, and he invented alternating current electricity, which is the type that we use today, amongst countless other patents and things, and he never was in it for money, and all of his intentions were pure. It was just for like the human race as a whole. So I really enjoy this book. We should read this one next. If you guys want another book to read, that one's a good one. Okay, back to what we were talking about. Our subconscious mind contains a blueprint for our lives. So it's important to be able to understand it and not shut out your instincts because of reason, and because that's what makes you an individual. Our conscious mind thinks it's in control, but it isn't. Our subconscious mind doesn't think about anything, but is in control. So here's some scenarios that they put into the book where they wrote the conscious mind versus subconscious mind. So it says, conscious mind. I long to find and marry my soulmate. Subconscious mind. Intimacy leads to pain and suffering. Finger, ringless. So it's like saying that your subconscious mind, because you don't understand it, you don't know what's going on there, you may not realize that your subconscious mind, based on past traumas, makes you believe deep down or feel that intimacy can lead to pain and suffering. And so it stops you from ever putting yourself in a position to be in that situation. Another example, conscious mind. I want to lose 25 pounds. Subconscious mind. People aren't safe. I must build a shield to protect myself. I'm like, this doesn't really apply to me, but I'm like, maybe some people feel like this. I don't really know. I'm not sure. I don't really think like that, so I'm not sure. Another one. Conscious mind, I'm hot and sexy and want to get it on. Subconscious mind, physical pleasure is shameful. And then it stops people from it says sex life yawn. So you guys can figure that out. Conscious mind, I want to travel the world. Subconscious mind, fun equals irresponsible equals I won't be loved. And that stops people from traveling and doing things that they want. So there's just certain subconscious things that stop you from doing what you want because you've associated with something negative, and when that's based on someone else's beliefs. So if someone tells you if you're just traveling and having fun, it's irresponsible, and no one's gonna love you because you're irresponsible, and someone told you that, it doesn't mean that it's true, but it means that you think it in your subconscious mind, so then you'll stop yourself from doing certain things. Anyways, Chapter 2, the G word. The first quote in this chapter is actually a Nikola Tesla quote from this book. It's literally from this book. And it says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. We all talk about like vibes and this and that. It's really important because everything in the universe is based on vibrations, and things that are the same vibrations resonate and amplify each other. So you attract things with like frequencies to yours because they resonate. It's like if you have sound tuning forks and you hit one that's a note of like, let's say it's like B flat or G sharp, and you hit it, if there's any other tuning forks in the room that are that same notes, they will start vibrating as well, even though you didn't hit them. None of the other ones will start vibrating, only that one, because their frequencies resonate with each other and they attract each other. So a little science. Okay. And this chapter is just talking about how everyone's connected to this limitless power. Most of us aren't using a fraction of it, and it's just about like the law of attraction and source energy. That's what they call it here. Let's see. This is like very kind of complicated for me to explain if you guys don't have any background on it. I mean, a lot of people I feel like are into this type of stuff, already know kind of about like laws of attraction and different things like this, but it's basically saying how you can like tap into this energy by like raising your frequency and vibrations. If you raise your frequency to match vibrations of the ones that you want, then you'll attract those things. So yeah, this is just talking about the law of attraction. If you're emitting a low frequency, which is feeling pessimistic, needy, victimized, jealous, shameful, worried, convinced we are ugly, and you expect higher frequencies and awesome things to come in your life, you're going to be disappointed because you need to raise your frequency of like the way that you are and the way that you treat others if you want those things to come into your life. So this is just talking about that. The universe will match whatever vibration you put out. You can't fool the universe. In order to truly raise your vibration, you have got to believe that everything you want is available to you, and the best way to keep this belief strong is by staying connected to source energy. Anyways, do you guys have any questions? I'm sorry, guys, I try to add, but after I try to add people 2 times, it always stops it from coming up. So I don't really know, but I can add. It's not letting me. When I click it, nothing happens. What do you mean by our frequency? So it's just, think about it like a radio station, and you tune in your radio to a frequency, like whatever station it may be, but like you're just tuning it into that frequency to be able to hear those radio waves, and somebody is broadcasting on that frequency as well. So when you tune in your radio to that frequency, then you are able to hear what they are broadcasting. So it's basically like that. If you want like abundance and positivity in your life, then those are things that you need to give off, and then they will come into your life. And if you are giving off negativity and being pessimistic and being jealous, or like being, what's the word? Like holding on to things and not being giving, then like that's going to happen in turn to you. So my biggest thing that I've always believed in and noticed for myself is like, I've always been a really giving person, and I never think like, oh, am I going to have enough for myself? Because at the end of the day, I know like I've always been giving, and I've always gotten more than I could ever give in return, just because like I always like let things flow in and out of my life, and I'm always giving, so like I always get good things in return. So that's kind of like the basis of that. Let's see. By staying connected to the source energy and keeping your frequency high and take decisive action, you will eventually succeed. So I wrote source energy plus high frequency equals success. But you have to have both parts, energy and action, working in unison, unless your energy is lined up properly with. So basically it's saying that you have to have your energy correct and raising your frequency to attract the things that you're emitting. And you also have to have the second part, which is action, which is putting in effort and making steps towards your goal. And with those two things, you will have success. One does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time. So that is basically saying that faith is greater than fear, by saying that you have to basically like leave where you were and know that you're not going to necessarily get to where you want right away, and you're going to kind of like be working for a while, but you have to leave the one place that you are before you can get to the other, and know that you're going to be in the ocean in the meantime. So, yeah. You can't get where you want to go by staying in the same place, basically. Chapter 3. Present as a pigeon. I think this woman was very inspired by Nikola Tesla. As we all know, he was married to a pigeon. And her chapter 3 is called Present as a Pigeon. And the first quote says, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. And that's Lao Tzu, ancient Chinese, I forgot how to pronounce his name. Ancient Chinese philosopher, founder of Taoism. It says, could have been one guy or a mythical compilation of many. Nobody really knows for sure. But anyways, yeah, so I think this is, yeah. So in this chapter, this quote, which is just touching on what we already talked about with being in tune with your instincts and your subconscious, because when you think about animals and children, children haven't yet developed the logic and reason. They just go off of their feelings. And this quote says, we would be wise to take more cues from the beasts and babies. So basically, once you become more logical and start using reason for more things, your instincts kind of fade away, and you have to work to keep them sharp and keep them strong so that you can listen to them. And like, I've always been someone who has really strong instincts, and I can feel when things are going to happen and certain things like this, which animals do this all the time. So we are also animals. We have the same ability. We just weaken it by using logic all the time, and we ignore our instincts because we reason things, and we like we're like, oh, this is happening because this is not, like, I feel this way because this is not, instead of just really being in tune with these things and being able to make decisions based on your instincts. So that's what that quote means by taking more cues from beasts and babies, because animals do that and so do children. Like, before you're able to understand everything, you just act on your instincts and your feelings. So it's basically just saying that we should take notes from that and kind of like do that more often. And so, yeah, it's just saying that you should use your intuition and make that a part of your life, and like, you should be aware of your subconscious so that you know when you're feeling a certain way based on like past traumas, or you're having a feeling because it's your intuition talking. It's basically like, I feel like this is an example of how I can like help you guys understand if you don't. There's animals that, it's like, okay, so birds, when they fly south for the winter, no one's telling them when it's time to go to fly south. They just have their instincts and their intuitions telling them to do so. There's also, there's dogs that are able to sense before you are going to have a seizure. So people that have problems with epilepsy, and they'll have these dogs that are their pets that can sense when they're about to have a seizure, so they'll bring them to like lay down on the couch or something like that so that they don't hurt themselves. And it's based on the dog's intuition that they can sense that this is about to happen. it's like a premonition that they have, and then they know, and they can warn you. It's things like that. I can always tell. Like, I feel like I can see when Miso does certain things, and I'll know that she's doing it based on her instincts, and she'll feel like when something's happening or about to happen, she can also, I'm like, animals can tell, like, when you, like, take drugs or you're high, like, they know these things based on their instincts, and they can, like, they act so strange around you. Because they have, like, intuition that's really strong. Okay. And it's, let's see this. Some people might think, like, this stuff is kind of kooky if they're not into it, but over time you're like, oh, this is normal. We get so wrapped up in our heads, we miss out on what's available to us right now in the moment. So you want to try to be present. And like the quote said, if you are depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you have anxiety, you know that when you are having it, you're thinking about like, oh, this, and this could go wrong, and this could happen, and that's just you living in the future. You need to be present, and you're still going to get those feelings, but it doesn't mean that you have to let your mind run with them. So you can find peace and joy in that which simply is. The more time you spend in the moment, the richer your life will be. Being present gets you out of your head and connects you to your source energy, which raises your frequency, which attracts things of like frequency to you. So that's pretty much the basis of that chapter. Chapter 4 is called The Big Snooze. Waiting to be someone else is a waste of the person you are. Kurt Cobain. And this is talking about the ego and how your ego is your false self. And the reason, sorry, I was reading. It's just how your ego gets in your way so many times because we're terrified to be seen for who we really are. And the point of this chapter is to get validation from within rather than from outside sources. And it says, these are some things you can tell yourself to help you to be able to get validation from within rather than outside and elsewhere, because that's literally where your ego is. Your ego needs validation from elsewhere and outside rather than just from within, and it's just your false self. And you need to get your ego out of the way with this type of thing. So you can say words of affirmation. It's one of the love languages. I love and trust myself. This feels right to me. I have purpose. I am loved. And then you can say, so those are from validation from within. You also want to be proactive. And these are some things that you can say to be proactive. I'm in control of my life. I think I'll head on out and kick some ass. Love-based and committed to creating a relationship based on your limitless potential. So these are things that you want to work on so that you can work on getting rid of your ego, and then you will find validation from within rather than from outside sources. Watching someone else, and this is such a big thing for ego, and I see this all the time with people. They'll get so frustrated and mad about like someone else doing something, or like envious that someone's pursuing their dreams, or someone is like killing it in this way or that way, and they'll find all these negative things to say or think about the person, but it's really just their ego talking. And this quote is just, watching someone else totally go for it can be incredibly upsetting to the person who's spent a lifetime building a solid case for why they themselves can't. So people that convince themselves all the time and sit there and say like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, like I have this obstacle and that obstacle, and making excuses. When they see someone else do that, they get so mad at the person because they spent all their energy and time convincing themselves they couldn't do something instead of taking all that energy and putting it towards something that they want to do. So they get mad that they put their energy in the wrong place, and they see someone else put it in the right place, and they say negative things about them, when really it's just their ego and they need to work on that with themselves. Anyways, yeah. So it's basically that chapter is talking about the ego. And then this quote is the last, this quote is the last line of the chapter. Whatever happens, stay the course, because there's nothing cooler than watching your entire reality shift into one that is the perfect expression of you. Because your ego isn't you. It's your false self. So when you put an effort into the direction you want to go, and even if it's hard and you're going through a time that's difficult and you feel like it might not happen, as long as you stick with it, there's nothing better than just to literally see your life becoming like a perfect expression of you, where you're like, oh, I feel like this is really me and this is who I am, and you feel aligned with your purpose and stuff like that. Chapter 5. Self-perception is a zoo. So it's kind of just the title alone, when you're thinking about your thoughts on things, and I have this feeling all the time that, oh, like I'll feel one way about something, and then I'll feel like a completely different way about the same thing in such a short period of time, or really without anything triggering me to feel different. And like I'll just like scare myself, because I'm like, well, everything's relative. Like, what do I actually think? Like, how do I actually feel? Like, what do I know is solid and not changing? Like, where can I feel comfort in knowing something's consistent? And this is saying how like self-perception's zoo. Like a zoo's crazy, and the way that you see yourself is going to be crazy and like all over the place, the same way that you feel about other situations and other things going on. And like I feel the way about different people or situations I'm in, or like anything at all. Like my opinion on things I like and don't like changes all the time so fast, and like I scare myself because I'm like, oh, what is true? Well, the same thing applies to yourself. So when you feel like, oh, I feel bad about myself, or I feel like I'm ugly, or I'm this, or I'm that, well, nothing can change, and you can feel the complete opposite. So you have to just remember that a middle ground is good, and just kind of focusing on like these feelings are fleeting, and these are not concrete, and this is not a reality. This is just a perception. So self-perception is zoo. We spend our lives drifting between glimpses of our own infinite glory and the fear that not only are we totally incapable, unworthy, lazy, horrible, but it's only a matter of time before someone blows the whistle on us. So what that quote is basically saying is what I just told you, is like you can feel like 1 second, oh, like I'm so perfect and great and this and that, and the next second you could be like, oh, I'm so like not worthy, and like I'm so not good enough, and someone's gonna find out, and nothing's changed. You are still the same person. Your perception on yourself has just changed in the moment based on like your feelings or like circumstances that of something that's happened. But at the end of the day, you have to also realize that your brain has chemicals that make you think things that may or may not be true, or feel a certain way towards things. And on top of that, your past trauma and experience make you feel a certain way towards things that other people might not feel towards the same exact thing, because they didn't have those trauma or experiences. So you have to just remember that those are not real, and you need to just find a middle ground to keep yourself centered and balanced. So it says, instead of beating yourself up and making like, oh, I'm perfect, or oh, I'm like the worst person ever, instead of doing either one of those, instead, try seeing yourself through the eyes of someone who admires you. They get it. They believe in you leaps and bounds. They aren't connected to your insecurities and negative beliefs about your own self. So when you think about that, and you're like, okay, like try to look at yourself through someone else's eyes who don't have your insecurities, and who don't like think this or that, because they're not even going to notice those things, because you only notice them because you're insecure about them. All I see is your true glory and potential. Become one of your own diehard fans. Look at yourself from the outside, or all of your self-doubts can crawl all over you, and behold what shines through. You get to choose how you perceive your reality. So when it comes to perceiving yourself, would you choose to see anything other than a super huge rock star of a creature? So basically, that's that. That was part one. There's three, I think there's 3 parts to this book. 4. There's 5 parts to this book. There's 5 parts. So that was part 1. It's only 50 pages. If you haven't read this book yet and you wanna, if you like were interested in what I was talking about, this is the book. It's a really easy read. I like when I'm reading a book if I can tell the author's into things and books and people that I'm into, and I can tell that she's into Tesla and like all of this stuff. So I could tell that I was gonna like the book, even though sometimes it seems like it can seem a little bit like juvenile for certain parts if you're really into more metaphysical things and like whatever. Like it can seem like a little bit like, oh, this is self-helpy, whatever. But I think that the basis behind it is really good, and it's great for people that are just getting into this stuff. I really enjoyed it. It was an easy read. Like this book to read, I'm like not even that deep into the book, but it takes me like 5 times longer to read one page on this book than it does on this book, because this book's a much easier read and it's put in plain language where you can understand it very easily. This is written like in the early 1900s, so it's much harder to read, and it is very scientific with the wording a lot of the time, so it definitely takes longer to understand each page and to get like everything out of each page. But Nikola Tesla is literally the smartest person that's ever lived, so he obviously, these are his writings from his journal, and it's going to be harder to understand. Anyways, this is the book, so I hope you guys will join me for part 2. I'm going to, obviously, I feel like we'll do it next week, but yeah, this is the book. Anyways, any questions? I'm like, I've never done a book club, so I don't really know how to like explain everything, but how do you relate to the book? I think with these type of concepts, if a lot of self-help books have this similar kind of concepts in it, but once you've read ones, and then you can like relate and understand to other ones. But I do think it's good to always keep reading them, because like these things will start to fade in your mind, and you kind of need a reminder, like, hey, like don't forget that your ego is not real, and don't forget that like, you know, perception is changing and it's not reality, and like the way that you feel about yourself or things like this, you kind of forget when you're always like online and just like whatever. So it's good to just get a reminder of it. The name of the book is You're a Badass. I'll leave it here so you guys can screenshot it. How well is your telepathy? Honestly, my telepathy, it's like, okay, right now I used to be really good, and then the more that it's like, okay, animals communicate telepathically because they can talk, so between like their body language and their warning signs that they put off, they also can communicate telepathically with each other. Like that's, like, how else would you? I see it with my cats all the time, but we are animals too, and I've always felt like super into my instincts, and like me and Catherine, for instance, we used to always be able to like read each other's thoughts, and we'll always know what someone else is thinking. And like, even if we were from different parts of the world, I would know like when Catherine was feeling a certain way. And Catherine, it's not like she'll like post online or do these things. She will like barely go online, but I would always just know things going on with her, because I would feel that way, because we were like so in tune with each other. So like, it's just like, it's telepathy, and when you are really close to the person and you go off of your instincts, and you learn to strengthen them and be more in tune with them, they get stronger. But when you let in outside noise all the time, and you're around other people all the time, and you're online all the time, then it's harder for you to be able to recognize those thoughts and feelings and instincts, and to be able to like feel and understand them, because you desensitize yourself to that stuff. So like, the more that you strengthen those things, it's easier for you to do so. I'm like, really the gardener right now. Sorry if it's loud. I hope it's not too loud. Let's see what else. Ow. No way I have telepathy's on. I'm trying to read your guys' comment. But like more about like the telepathy thing, because for a while I was like, I felt like I was so telepathic that it was like scaring me, because I will just like know all these things before they'll happen, and like I'll be like, oh, I just got a feeling like this is gonna happen. It would happen every single time, like every day, and it was so scary. And like, well, not scary because it happened so much that like I just feel like it was a normal thing. But I definitely feel like the more I get farther away from that, like the less strong those feelings are. So it's about like meditating and not exposing yourself to like low frequencies. That's why a lot of the times I'm very particular with like music I listen to or like movies that I watch, because I don't want to desensitize myself to like certain things, and I want to make sure that I keep those instincts and like that part of my subconscious like innocent and pure, so that I can be able to have that part of me to be strong, and like my sixth sense. Everyone has different spiritual things that are their strong suits, and you can work on the others. But like some people just have like a gift of knowing things. Some people have like vision. Some people have like different ways, like they'll hear things, or like things will just come to them. There's different things, like there's like claircognizance, you can see things. There's clairvoyance, you can know things. There's like all the different ones. I think there's 6 or 7. So you guys can look those up if you want, or I can just tell you. I'll tell you what they are. You can literally feel someone's energy or vibration. I'm like, okay, so I'm like, what happened here? Do you still see your niece, Ella and Alea? I haven't seen them in a few months. Everything's been crazy and going on, and obviously we're in quarantine right now. But so there's clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience. 4 psychic gifts. So like psychic gifts are just your instincts, and like some people have them stronger than others, but it's just like in my family, it like kind of gets passed on. If you think like your parents have like a certain one, you probably have that, but you can strengthen any of them and you can like work on them. But so this is so interesting. So basically, this is what this article says that I just clicked on, so to tell you guys about it. We are all born with intuitive gifts, and they can be channeled through sight, hearing, thoughts, and body sensory systems and our feelings. They are called clair gifts. Stay with us through childhood and beyond. Clairsentience is one of the most common. However, there are 4 total types of gifts, which we'll talk about below. They're believed to be part of our pre-language survival system. So these 4 psychic gifts, they stay with you through the time that you're a child, but they're basically, it says that they're believed to be part of our pre-language survival system. So they are part of like the subconscious, and they're part of your creative, intuitive side before reason takes over, and you weaken these things through like logic and reason. And in some cases, people shut down their gifts during the ages of 15 to 20 to provide ourselves with relief while we develop our brains, bodies, and learn more about becoming adults. Sometimes because of that, people shut down their gifts. Sometimes these are saying like the different reasons people shut down their gifts or what happens. During specific periods in our lives where the logical mind is favored over the intuitive mind. So if you're meant to use and needed to use your logical mind over your intuitive mind for like a situation you're in, whether it's like circumstance, job, whatever it is, if you have to use your logical mind all the time, then you can weaken your intuitive gift, because they kind of like You're gonna take your logic over your instinct if you're meant to use like logic all the time and someone's like pressuring you to do that. It's like whatever. So sometimes I'll think of examples and I'm like, wow, that's gonna be so hard to explain because it's so complicated. I was like, during periods of trauma where our baseline needs of food, shelter, and safety are not being met, such as when we are experiencing fight or flight. It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The pyramid, or the hierarchy at the bottom, is the food, shelter, and security. These are the things that need to be fulfilled before we can get to self-actualization, which is at the top of the pyramid. And if we are meant to be worrying about these baselines of survival, we can't take ourselves to that meditative state or like allow ourselves to go on our intuition, because like we're like, I have to have these things to survive, so I need to focus on my logic to make sure I can do these things rather than focusing on my intuition and whatever. Music just starts playing in my background. Love the song. This is my quarantine theme song. It's called Stay Safe by Rye. Love the song. Anyways, who turned the song on in my freaking live stream? Anyways, another last bullet point. During times of physical growth experiences, such as during a soul lesson period. So like if you're going through a major shift or you're having like, I'm like, I feel like they heard me because I'm like, turn off the music. He's watching my live stream. So thankfully, I'm so glad I found this article because I was wondering this. I was like, oh, I feel like my gifts are like not as strong. Thankfully, even if your gifts have been shut down, you can reawaken the intuitive gifts at any time, and it all starts with relearning the language about what they are and how they manifest. I'm literally so sorry if this is loud. Is this gardener really loud for you guys? Should I move, or is it fine here? Okay. I'm being punked. It's my song, Both Sides. Love the song. You guys. I just heard everyone laughing. You guys are... they are pranking me. I can't. Anyways, so... which is your strongest physical gift? I'm going to put this in my story so that you guys can read this article if you want. The 4 main intuitive senses: clairvoyance, which is seeing things, clear seeing. And some examples are, if you have a very active dream, if you spend your days daydreaming, you speak fluently in metaphors. You can see color, shapes, and objects or pictures when you close your eyes for sleep or meditation. You have begun or already see sparkly lights, flashes of lights, movements out of the corner of your eyes. There's like all these things. I'll put it in the clairaudience, which is hearing. You can hear messages either audibly or inside your mind. For most people, the messages they receive are telepathic. And in this method, you can speak to spirit in your mind and they'll often reply. So you can talk to yourself in your mind. Oh, y'all think you're funny? Oh my gosh. This thing is almost going to end, so I'll end it and I'll come back and I'll let you guys come live with me because I know I couldn't do before. So that one's about you hear things. Clairsentience, quite possibly the most underestimated psychic gifts. This ability to feel strongly and sense the emotions of feelings, people, animals, spirits you place around them. So like if you can feel someone's aura, like if someone's like, you can just tell when someone's like feeling a certain way. I felt that way with Catherine a lot. Like, oh no, she felt a certain way and she wouldn't be anywhere near me. I would just feel it and I would feel that same emotion and I would know it was because she was feeling that way or something was happening to her. And it's quantum entanglement. And then the last one, claircognizance, which is just knowing things. When you just know information, knowledge comes to you spontaneous. But yeah, okay, coming back. This is about to end. Like a crazy prefix to it, but this one's not that long. It is, you know, a lot of information per page, but this book, easy read, a lot of same concepts, or like taking concepts from that book and making them easy to read. So let's go live. Who wants to go live? Wow. You ever just take an edible and you still feel in your system 24 hours? Like, okay, who wants to go live? I'm just gonna pick someone. I don't see Anne. Y'all keep saying to guess Anne, but I don't see Anne. So I can't really. I don't know. All right. What do you guys think?
Hi.
Hey.
Oh my God, that's
Hello.
so crazy. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I have the book that you read, and
yay.
it's so good.
What did you think about the first part? Did you finish the whole thing, or how much did you get to?
I am halfway through. I'm on chapter 18, and I thought the first part was very like in your face, about the things that you have to come to terms with, and it was kind of funny as well. So yeah, what do you think?
I think that in the beginning, it's very like, okay, you know, you're who you are because this and this and this has happened to you, and it's created this ego and this protection around yourself, and you have to realize that that has happened, destroy this ego around you, and then like make yourself open so that you can make progress and so that you can become the best version of yourself, so that you can like manifest every good thing that you want in your life. And I kind of feel like that was pretty much the basis of like the first couple chapters, just like understanding like it's not your fault, you just need to change it now. And like
Yeah, I agree for sure. One thing that I felt this book was also how to like change your mindset to manifest what you want to. It's just crazy because like I've like practiced a couple manifestation techniques, whatever, and they've happened, and I'm just like, that's crazy, like how much your personal mindset can just change like your life, like this video chat.
literally, I mean, your mind is really powerful. And I always think that I've noticed it so many times, and I think it's really important and effective if you keep a journal. And like, because there's so many times it's happened to me, and if I was to try to tell you like some crazy examples right now, I wouldn't necessarily be able to think of them off of the top of my head, but like I will write them, or like sometimes I'll like go back and see like pictures and videos, and it will remind me of like all these crazy things that I will like manifest, and they will happen. And sometimes you forget, like you're like, oh, I want this to happen, or like I really wish this would happen, and like a couple years later it happens exactly how you wanted, but like you already started thinking about something else you want to happen, so you kind of forget. And then like when you look back, you're like, oh wow, you know, that actually worked. So
yeah, I can say the same. Like before I moved to California, I created this whole vision board and like put things I wanted to do that I thought would like never happen in like 1,000 years, but they all happened, and I don't know how, but it just worked itself out, and it was just like the most crazy experience, like no one would ever believe.
yeah,
But it has happened, and I have like proof of it, and like the vision board, and like pictures of it happening, and it's just like, that is crazy. And like, yeah,
it's amazing. I'm so you know, aw, yay.
Okay.
Well, I hope
Thank you.
you come back for week 2. I'm gonna let's add someone else and see if
Okay. Yes.
Hope you have a great day.
You too. Bye. Love you.
Bye. All right, someone else want to get on live. I'm like, guys, you keep telling me to add Anne. I literally am trying. I don't know. I don't see Anne in the thing, so I don't know what to say about it. to do. Hello from Pakistan. Hello. All right, guys. I literally deadass think you guys were fucking with me because there's no Ann in here. All right. Someone else want to come on live? Let me know. I'm like, Cindy Kimberly of Spain, wake up and come on my Instagram live. Should we FaceTime Cindy? I told her to come on live with us. She's downstairs. FaceTime me. Cindy, Queen of Cats. Wow. She said I'm sleeping until noon. Okay. Wow, it won't fucking. Oh! Every time you go to add someone live after you do 2 times, it stops working. I just faced him today. Anyways, my t-shirt is from it's from the brand's called Corinne Mood, and I got it from Doll's Kill. But I don't know. Yeah. Anything else for this week's live stream of the book club? Next week we'll do part 2. Let me see actually how long it is, because maybe we'll do part 2 and 3. Because I really think that it's pretty easy, and I want to start. Yeah, I mean, it's 45 pages, or yeah, it's actually 35 pages. So I feel like we could do 2 parts next week. I don't know how fast you guys read, so just keep me updated, because I read pretty fast when I get into something. There's nothing else to do, so I just like work on music and read my books, so and hang out with music and whatever. Can you do a skincare routine? Yes, I'm gonna do a skincare routine video. I was like breaking out because I had allergic reaction, so I didn't want to make it right away until that went away. But I'm allergic to grapes now, which is not really fun, and it's a new thing. And whenever I eat something, like a lot of sauces have like red wine vinegar or something, and then like I won't know and I'll eat it, and then I'll get like hives all over my face, and it's so annoying. So how's your quarantine going? What new thing have you tried? Well, I have been gardening, so I planted radishes, onions, cucumbers, spinach, lettuce, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, and cherry tomatoes, bell peppers, and then herb garden. I also have my house plants that I've been looking after. I really love plants, so I've been doing that. I've been reading. I've been making TikTok dances, so you guys can follow me on TikTok if you want. I post like today I posted like my coffee tutorial of how I make my coffee every morning, because everyone's always asking, they're like, what's anxiety juice? I'm like, it's just coffee. I just call it anxiety juice because it's juice made from beans that gives you anxiety. So yeah, but yeah, I've been like filming videos and working on music. I have a new song coming out soon. Guys. It's exciting. And yeah. Talk about your thoughts on aliens. It's for another day, honey. I'll need to take 2 hours to do that. Adding to your live. I literally, Instagram live got me fucked up because how do I join the book club? All you have to do to join the book club is just read the book, and then we discuss it on Instagram live, and I'll add people to the live. yeah. I don't know if you guys have any more suggestions, let me know, because I obviously have never done a book club before. Like, I've never made a book club, so I'm just making it up as I go. Have you been to Cape Town? No, I really want to go. I was actually talking about South Africa last night, and yeah, I want to go. Are you still sending the book to people? I send the book to people already, but I can send it to more people. I think, I mean, I don't know if you guys like audiobooks or ebooks, but like I was just sending the code to people so that they could do it electronically, because I think if you actually try to get the book and ship it, it might take like a long time. So do that. Did you just wake up? I actually woke up at 9:30. I set an alarm to wake up at 9:30 so that I could eat breakfast and make a TikTok making my coffee and FaceTime my mom because it's her birthday and review like my notes in the book before the live stream. And I wanted to do the live stream early so that I could hang out by the pool today and read because it's nice out. What's your TikTok? Chantel Jeffries. Are you working out every day still? I worked out yesterday. I've been trying to do stuff in the house, but like I can only do so much because I'm not that self-motivated when it comes to working out. Hey, Cindy Kimberly of Spain! I FaceTimed you because I wanted you to come into my live stream. Are you matching with her hairstyle?
My phone's dead. I just woke up.
Oh.
My body looks so late.
There you go.
Hey.
Hey, guys. What's up, guys?
Wait, you made a breakfast bagel?
I
I wish I was awake for that.
do the savage TikTok dance. I'm a savage. Classy, bougie, ratchet. I can't stupid. What's happening? What's happening?
Jiggly boys.
Jiggly boys. Quick jumping jack tutorial. Not today, honey. You have to look at my TikTok if you want to see my last video. Wait, me and Cindy have the best TikTok dance. We have to do it.
I know.
We have to practice it and get it today. I can't wait. It's so
Where's
good.
Sheila?
Are you clairvoyant or sentient? I'm clairsentient. Well, yeah. I'm clairsentient. The video is watching. I see you on TikTok, girl. Do your thing. I'm trying to be TikTok famous. I know it's my destiny. I'm just kidding. I just really like the dances. Yeah, Cindy missed the whole book discussions.
Oh my god. Well, my phone was dead, so I usually have an alarm so that I go to sleep at too late. And my phone was fucking dead. I'm gonna go plug this in.
Okay.
Where's Sheila?
I don't know. Steele, they were fucking with me on my live stream, and then I'm like, okay. Be okay? Anyways, anxiety drink. Anxiety juice is just coffee. But sometimes I make it really strong. Like, I usually, hi Misa. I put, the other day, so basically I put like 1.5 espresso shots. Like, I'll put 2 and pour a little out because I know it's too strong for me to drink 2. So the other day, there was light roast in the coffee, the espresso machine thing. It's like one of those big ones that's in the wall. I don't know how to use any of this rich person appliance shit. So like when they're built in like, I'm like, what the fuck? So I press the button, it says espresso. I put my thing, I put 1 espresso. I'm like, this looks light. I'm like, it's probably watered down. This thing hasn't been working. It's broken. I put another one. I'm like, okay, whatever. I then proceed to make my drink. I put in my coffee, coconut milk, almond milk creamer thing. I start up. It looks literally like it's just milk. So I'm like, this is white. I must add another espresso shot. Add another espresso shot. Now I have 3 espresso shots. And I take the sip. It's so strong. It's a light roast. I don't even know about light roast because I don't even know about coffee. I just started drinking coffee like a month ago or 2 months ago. So I was having anxiety is the point of my story. I don't know why my arm's so itchy. Anyways, how do you get your hair so curly? my hair is naturally like wavy, curly, frizzy. I don't know. I put it into 2 French braids when it's like halfway dry, just so that it can like not be really super crazy when I'm sleeping, because I do it and then I go to sleep, and if I go to sleep with my hair wet, it just like literally sticking up everywhere, and it's not even, and it just looks ridiculous. It looks like pretty much like this, but like some parts are straight and some parts are like sticking straight up. So I put it in the braids so that I can just like all be in the same direction. But I just do that. Your real job is being a DJ, right? Yes, but I did a live stream the other day, but all my, everyone just got canceled. So, like, everyone's just chilling. I've been making music. Well, I've been working on writing songs and doing different things. So, yeah, I have a new song coming out soon. I'll give you guys more details soon. Make a TikTok with Joe Exotic. I can't wait to discuss Tyler King because, you know, classy bougie ratchet. Anyways, alright guys, thank you for joining my book club live. I'll see you guys next week. I'm sure I'll be on live again before that. And make sure you check out my TikTok. I'm at Chantel Jeffries. Bye. CJ out.